Okay, this is going to be the 7th grade review part 2, and we worked on just answering are these ratios or are these rates that were given to us proportional. So let's start with something like this: 2 over 13 and 8 over 52. And there are a couple ways you could figure out if something's proportional. You could figure out the unit rate, take the top divided by the bottom, take the bottom divided by the top, and if they do it the same way, and if it comes out to be the same, then they are. You could also take 13 times 8 and then take 2 times 52, and if they come out to be the same answer, then they are. Then they're proportional. So 13 times 8 would be 104, and 2 times 52 would also be 104. So it is. It's proportional. Okay. They might even get, well, they are going to get one like this. It says, John earns $11.50 for babysitting 2 hours. I always tell the kids, okay, start with a rate. Or start with a table, I'm sorry. Start with a table. We'll say this is hours, this is money. Money is usually the y-axis anyway. 2 hours, he earns $11.50. On Monday, he worked 4 hours, and he earned $23. On Thursday, he worked 3 2/10 of an hour, and he made $18.50. Are they proportional? Do they show a proportional relationship? So, find the unit rate. Take the y divided by the x. Gives you your unit rate. If they all have the same unit rate, then they are. Take 1150 divided by 2. 23 divided by 4. 1850 divided by 3.2. If they all come out to be the same, then it is. They're going to get one, it looks like this. 2 and 3. 3 and 4.5. 4.5. 4 and 6. 5. And C. D. And 27. Alright, let's pretend one of these are the x and one of these are the y. How do you go from 2 to 3? What happens to x to give you y? It's the table, the exact same style table, it's just laying down in horizontal position. And it doesn't really matter which ones you want to be the x or the y. By habit, I'll probably just put the 2's, the 2 row being the x. This is supposed to be 6. So what happens here to get you this? What happens here and get you this? What happens here to get you this? Or students could always cross multiply and divide. Do 5, because we're looking for this one. Do 5 times 6. Divide that by 4. Once you get your answer here, then you could solve for D. There will also be some missing values, and you have to finish out the proportion to make it true. So you might have 13 miles in 2 hours. How far would they go in 5 hours? And you could simply cross multiply and divide. 13 times 5 divided by 2. Or you could do 13 divided by 2 and then times that by 5, getting the unit rate, and then divided by 5. Either way. Okay, they're going to have to determine if a graph is proportional. The ordered pairs on the graph, all they have to do is get the unit rate. Remember, to get the unit rate, we take the y, we divide it by the x, and that gives us our unit rate, which they will learn is also referred to as K. Okay. The last type of question they're going to have will be two rectangles. And here's the measurements for this one. And here's the measurements for this one. The question is, if the two rectangles are proportional, then what is the length of side W? Well, all they have to do is take 23, make a rate, and solve. Are the perimeters of the rectangles proportional? What about the areas, and then how do you know? So they would have to get the area and then get the perimeter and set it up the same way, or compare. We did something similar to this in class. We used circles, but it was pretty much the same thing. It is the same thing.